Hi, everyone, and welcome to Book Club with Bae. I am Bae, and this is Bae. Say hi, Bae.
Hi, Bae.
And this is other Bae. Say hi.
We're just defeated.
And
You don't get my hand today.
Today we're talking about Divine by Mistake by PC Cast.
It feels so weird just ending it with PC Cast.
Yeah,
I was like, are you gonna finish it? And then I'm like, no, that's it.
Can
it's
we just
PC.
pretend it's by Kristen too? Just
No,
for our brains.
we can't.
Look, Kristen has done a lot of bad things in her life. I still don't think she deserves having this attributed to her.
Yeah, we don't have to put this on her. This was...
So, from memory as well, this was written before House of Night.
This was written in 2001.
This was fucking awful. Like, I can't even with how bad this was.
It was so trippy though having Lorelai read it.
Honestly,
I feel like Addie probably had a worse experience than us.
Definitely,
we at least had the benefit of a good narrator.
But also better because I can skim.
That's true. But at the same time, there were lines that I knew. I was like, this is a cringy line. But it's not coming off cringy because Lorelai's reading it.
Yeah.
And
I was actually also really upset because you know how our last stream, like I was saying, if you ever hear the line "heartbreakingly beautiful," in relation to whatever, it's Michael playing guitar. This book had, I can't remember what it was, but I just remember there being a heartbreakingly beautiful thing, and I was just like, no.
It's probably Brad. Brad's probably heartbreakingly beautiful.
Yeah, we've renamed the love interest to Brad.
Because I refuse to say his fucking name.
Have we? I missed that.
Yeah, we named him Brad. Mara, I was like, why doesn't he have a fucking nickname? This is so annoying. And she said, he's Brad now. And I jumped on board. So in my notes, he's Brad.
That's fine with me. Because, yeah, his name is horrible.
Yeah, it's Clan Finton. A.K.A. Brad.
Also, it's Clan, C uppercase, Finton, F uppercase, no space.
Yep.
It's like, what the all right.
Because he's from the clan, he's from the Finton clan. So his name is Clan Finton.
No, his name's Brad. His name is Brad Clan Finton.
I'm seriously, no, but
I'm on board with
of the Fintons. And I'm like, okay, does this mean that he had a name until he became High Shaman? Or shaman, I guess. That is one thing that annoyed me with Lorelai though, because in my head it's always shaman, and she says shaman in this. Before he became High Shaman, did he have his own name? And then when he became that, he had to be Clan Finton?
Well, it's my headcanon that his name was Brad. All right. First point, this book is Outlander fan fiction, and I'm fucking angry.
This book is out. Yeah, no, this book is straight
Literally.
up Outlander, because Addie and I went and looked at the second books, because if you read the reviews on Goodreads, you can find all the spoilers. Straight up, the series is Outlander, shitty Outlander fan fiction, like 50 Shades of Grey. Honestly, it's amazing in comparison.
Yeah.
50 Shades of Grey is fan fiction done well. You go, E.L. James. Good for fucking you. This is horrible, and I hate it. I hate it so much. I'm gonna cry.
There's so many story parallels. There's literally a direct scene that is just copied when she's about to touch the vase.
Yeah.
And Brad stops her. Literally, Claire's about to touch the stones, and Jamie stops her, and it was like, you were disappearing. I was so scared. I wasn't ready. What the fuck? And then literally the exact same fucking thing happens. There's Dougal. There's a guy named Dougal.
I know. I was so angry.
I was Graham McTavish out of this.
Also, here's the thing, okay? PC Cast.
She also names dropped Diana Gabaldon. I'm done. Continue.
PC Cast in her House of Night days has always been very much rah, rah, I am woman. Hear me. And in this book, this main character is obsessed with John Wayne.
Like, there is.
I hate Shannon. I hate Shannon so much.
Like, there was a direct freaking quote about, like, where she's describing who John Wayne is to Brad, and she's just like, no, he is like, if America is a person, he is that person.
Yeah.
He's everything we stand for. He, like, I can't remember exactly what she said, but like, more or less, like, he's the epitome of everything I want to be, but with a penis.
This makes me feel like PC Cast might have been a Republican in a past life.
She grew up in Tulsa.
We also get some lovely House of Night parallels, even though House of Night didn't exist yet. Broken Arrow High School got a name drop. Vampires were in it, kind of. There's a lot of House of Nighty stuff, like the random capitalization of words. She's the chosen one. The goddess speaks to her. The goddess just speaks to her, and she's sarcastic.
I mean, I was getting really annoyed every time the goddess spoke to her, and she was like, "My beloved this, beloved that." But I guess it's better than Awitzia Gaia, so I guess that.
Real quick, we don't really have a schedule. We do a lot on Mondays.
Yeah, we do.
We've been doing mostly on Mondays, actually. But because of our schedules, we haven't.
It's more or less just, are we free this at this day and time? Yes. Okay, that's when we're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we all have very busy day jobs, day lives.
Yeah. So, and then also there's a time zone difference.
Yep.
For me, so
big old one.
Yep.
Yeah, so the problem is that even if we posted a schedule, we would constantly be like, "Oh, sorry, we're gonna do it this day instead."
Yeah, we generally go through periods where like we primarily do Thursdays, or then we primarily do Fridays, and now apparently we're primarily doing Mondays.
Yeah.
So it just depends on the time of year, I guess.
Yeah. But my God, so characters.
Shannon.
Shannon. All right, so
I feel like it's. Just in relation to Shannon, it's not actually her name though, but it's the name everyone thinks she has. How did you read it, Addie?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
How did you read it? I feel like this is PC's doing. I don't want to blame Lorelai for this.
Let me read it. Because I never wrote it down. I think it's like Rhiannon. Rhiannon. I was just saying Rihanna with on at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, like I always read it as Rhiannon because I've got I've known people named Rhiannon, and so like I've always because I had read probably up until like just around when they got married, and then I just didn't anymore. This was like
another Outlander parallel. You come to a new place and then have to immediately marry a man's. Continue.
Yeah. I think that was about I read the name and in the blurb the name was there and it was like Rhiannon. I'm like, okay, that's a really weird name for the
Celtic
chosen one. I think actually Rhiannon might be a Celtic name.
I'm Googling it right now.
Well, the way that the way Lorelai pronounced it was Rhiannon.
It's Welsh.
Oh, yes. So, it's fine.
I mean, maybe that's correct. I don't know, but I will. The nickname they gave her was Rhea, which I was like, you know what, Lorelai, good for you. Pronounce it that way, because if you say Rhea, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Because if you bring Fire Emblem into this, I'm gonna cry.
So it's pronounced according to Google, Rhiannon. You put the emphasis on the "an."
Yeah, it was Rhiannon.
Yeah. I feel like that's PC's doing though.
So Shannon was supposed
Shannon.
to be like this amazing person who's like such a good person. She's a fucking bitch. Like, here's the thing. I'm gonna say this right out the gate. Writing advice from book club with Bae. Jorg from The Broken Empire, a piece of shit protagonist. But he doesn't have mean thoughts about literally every person he sees.
True.
So,
well, I don't know that, but she does.
But so, like, he has mean thoughts about people he knows. Like, he has specific reasons for thinking lowly of them. So, like, Brother Reich, he doesn't like him because he's hot-headed and he's an idiot. And you're like, okay. But he doesn't just see a person and is like, wow, ew.
They fucking suck.
You suck. Yeah, but like, I mean, it's kind of to be expected. Like, Zoe was exactly the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wrote that down. I was like, am I just reading Zoe?
You are. You're reading
35-year-old Zoe.
With apparently 35-year-old boobs, as she never lets us forget. And also, everyone around her is bulimic, according to her.
Yep. So trigger warning if you read this book.
Also, how was Rhea spelt in the book?
R-H-E-A.
Yeah.
Huh?
R-H-E-A.
Okay, because I just want to find one thing and then...
Yeah, by the way, trigger warning if you're going to read this book. I mean, fucking don't. Like,
don't
do it. But there are a ton of very derogatory mentions to eating disorders.
Oh, yeah, like there's this one scene where she's like, you know, like Brad was checking her out, right? And she was like, you know, at least I have like big boobs and big hips and stuff. And I was so grateful that I never resorted to starving myself and throwing up everything I ate. I'm like, oh, yes, because you can't naturally just be like small framed. You have to starve yourself to get to having no boobs.
Yeah, and then also because, you know, that kind of thing is just something you do to diet. Like, okay.
Yeah,
totally PC.
Yeah,
but the thing that I wanted, like the spelling of Rhea for and everything, was like, because when she was like, oh, well, you know, I don't want to be called Rhiannon. And apparently her nickname, like her real world nickname for Shannon, what would you call your friend Shannon if you wanted to shorten it? You'd call her Shan.
Yeah, Shan.
Yeah,
I have a friend named Shannon, and I would call her Shan if I was really drunk.
Yeah,
and I didn't feel like doing the second syllable.
Yeah, no. It's Shah. Her nickname is Shah.
I'm so glad that she was not Shannon for more than 6 chapters because
like if
I was getting real annoyed.
If I was going to pick a PC cast character to nickname Shah, it would be Crummy Shah.
Oh yeah,
because that's the best name you could give her. Because what else are you going to call her? Crummy?
Clammy.
But moreover, everybody in this book got nicknamed.
Oh, except for the one dumb fuck name.
I know, right?
Well, I don't think Alana. Did Alana get a nickname?
No, she didn't.
No,
but
like the only nickname she would get is like Lance or Lana.
Or like Allie.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna talk about Shannon.
Yeah, she couldn't have called like Clan Finton Clan or Finn.
Finn.
Finn would have been appropriate. Like I would have even dealt with Tony, like as a cute name, like, oh, I love you, Tony. Like better than I love you, Clan Finton.
Oh, like Brad.
His name is Brad.
I got to the point where every time I saw his name, my brain autofilled Brad. Like it was great. It was
good. So Shannon is an English teacher.
High school English teacher.
Is a high school English teacher, and oh my god, she's so amazing, and she loves being a high school English teacher.
Oh. Mara, do you have words?
Okay, so it's very important to point out that it's a first person perspective, right? First person.
Okay.
So the MC can talk directly to the reader without talking out loud. And she's like, first paragraph, cruising down the highway, you know, in her Mustang, and she just screams out at the top of her lungs, I love being a teacher. All those days of sleeping in to go, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, this is it. This is the life. I'm funny, attractive, yay me. She's saying all of this out loud.
Did you transcribe the note to the author?
I did not.
Or the note from the author?
Because I put the book on the drive. So I didn't.
Oh, okay. Everybody stop what you're doing. I have things to read out loud.
Okay, while she's doing that real quick.
Oh no, it's the audio book. It's not in the it's the audio book that's out loud. So maybe we can just
not in the ebook.
Maybe we can just play the note to the author. Would
yeah,
you
no, I'm
on my radar. Okay.
She also, this got dropped like really quickly, which, I mean, there's pros and cons to it, but like when she first went to I have no, wherever the fuck she is, she would have thoughts in the middle of her dialogue that were like in parentheses, and it dropped real fast. But also like consistency issues, but also it was irritating, so I don't know what to go with.
Yeah.
Okay. That's Divine by Mistake by PC Cast. This book is read by Lorelei King.
Oh, Lorelei, why?
I know.
This book is dedicated to my father, Dick L. Cast, the old coach, eternally.
The old coach.
Okay.
Dear fabulous reader, I love this book. It's a planned love. When I sat down to write Divine by Mistake, long before I wrote my House of Night series, I told myself I was going to write the book I'd most want to read. And that's exactly what I did. I created a heroine who made me laugh and sent her to a world straight out of my favorite daydreams to live a fantasy filled with wine and sex, adventure and true love. And all of that is great fun. But I have to be honest with you. The most important reason I love this book so much is that in it I created Clanfinton, who will eternally be my favorite hero. Of course, he's strong and handsome and sexy. Those qualities are part of the hero blueprint.
He's a horse.
Clanfinton has two other things going for him that make him stand out from the hero pack. First, his sense of integrity is deeply moving. His word is more than his promise. His word is who he is. Second, and this might be what I like most about him, is the sense of fun and innocence that awakens within him when this otherwise very worldly and tough guy falls in love with my heroine. His joy at discovering love will always keep him close to my heart. So curl up with a glass of your favorite wine and enter Partholon. But beware, like me, you may never want to leave.
Not true.
That author's note promises so many things, and none of it happens.
Yeah, like
we have
like
also
watching him learn how to fall in love. Yeah, do you want to know how he learned how to fall in love? Him saying,
boing.
I've never made love as a man before.
Yeah, we kind of forgot the biggest part about Brad. He's a fucking horse. He's a centaur, fine, whatever. He's a horse. I don't give a shit.
He's a goddamn horse.
So therefore, he is a horse.
Hello, Pat. We're in pain.
Hi, Pat.
Back to our funny, amazing heroine.
Yeah, like okay, when the MC has to tell you that they're funny,
yeah, they're not funny.
Especially considering at every point that she makes a joke. One, I didn't realize it was supposed to be a joke until she got upset that no one was laughing.
Yeah.
And even so, like, not only do I not think she's funny, but none of the characters think she's funny.
And good.
Freaking one.
Good. Nobody indulged this woman. Fuck me.
I feel like we should maybe just like do a quick rundown of the plot, like because honestly it'll take that too
plot, Mara.
Like, the plot.
Okay,
and
we'll
then
have
our ranty rants.
Before we
about
do something happy, because we need to open with.
We need to have a moment. We need to have a moment.
Addie and I are wearing the same nail polish, and that's my
hashtag not sponsored, but we wish it were.
Halo Taco. Both wearing blue freezy by Halo Taco. So, yay. Okay. That's my happy thing.
Coat and super glossy taco.
Yeah, I'm oh my God, we're wearing all the same thing.
Is your taco super glossy too?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm wearing long-lasting base coat and super glossy taco as well.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna hold these to me with happiness while we.
Okay. So, quick rundown. Shannon Parker, English teacher, estate sale, vase, transporting, new world.
Yep.
So
Outlander, she goes to the Stones and she ends up in 1700 Scotland. Okay, cool. Same thing.
Yep. So now, everyone thinks that she's Lady Rhiannon, who looks exactly like her because Lady Rhiannon did a transporty thing, and everyone has a mirror image.
Also, isn't this just Otherworld?
Ah!
Shut up.
Ah! Continue.
I mean, to be fair, do you not mean isn't Otherworld just this?
Yeah, but like, but yes.
But snobby best friend is awesome in this world. Honestly, she was such a bitch to her best friend until she's like, oh look, I have a slave. I like her now.
But also, real quick before I forget to say this. Here's the problem with how she feels about all of the mirrors that she meets.
She loves them all, but has. Oh, sorry, go.
We have met none of them.
Yeah.
So, like, when her dad dies, we don't care because we've never met her real dad. We've heard about how much she hates Susan, but we've never met Susan. So when she's like, oh my God, Susan, we're like, who the fuck is Susan? And
yeah. Well, not just that, but like, you know, like she's seeing all of these mirror images, right? And she's like, oh look, I love you so much. I'm so glad that you exist in this world. Yeah, she doesn't spend a single second missing her own.
No, not the real people. Yeah,
she doesn't miss any of them. Even
kind of like Zoe with her siblings.
Yes,
she loves her Otherworld siblings more than she likes her real siblings.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she like mirror images all around. She has to marry a horse, so she does. And then she has a dream where she watches Daddy die. So then she's like, got to go see if Daddy's dead. So then they go. Hubby catches up. He takes
Spoiler: Daddy's dead.
Spoiler: Daddy's dead. They go home.
Know, I was really surprised that we liked Dad.
Right? Because we hate Dad.
Right?
I was like, wow. So that is. I was like, okay, so that's Kristen's damage.
Yeah, that's Kristen's damage. Because PC loves her dad.
Yeah, but obviously we don't love Kristen's dad because we don't even know who the fuck he is.
Yeah. Kristen probably doesn't know who he is. Yeah, so Daddy dead, go home. Batty Bats are doing a thing.
We boink husband.
Yeah, husband boinkage happens.
They also say boink in this book, and I was so triggered.
And then smallpox outbreak, massive battle. She's pregnant. The end.
But we don't know.
Like that's the plot. Oh, she's maybe pregnant. The end.
Yeah, she throws up 4 times, and then they're like, "Oh, I wonder what our family's gonna be like and our kids," and then the book's over.
Yeah, but she freaking feels something move inside her. I'm like, you've been there a week. Of being pregnant, you don't feel that. You don't feel it like it is still a.
She would barely even be pregnant because she only had sex for like 3 days ago, like for the first time with him.
They wouldn't. A pregnancy test wouldn't even be able to pick it up yet.
No.
It takes
3 days post.
They're always like, oh, the earliest we can do it 6 days before your missed period.
Yeah, 2 weeks after. You do it. You might know.
Maybe. Like, it takes a while.
But no, she knows. She feels a fluttering in her uterus, and she knows.
You don't.
You feel like a fluttering in your uterus every month.
Right?
And I again, as someone who was being pregnant, like, the first few times, like, when you're feeling a bit, Bubba do a move for a bit, like, you're like, is that just gas bubbles? and you like that for about 2 weeks, and then you're like, no, that's definitely Bob's.
Yeah.
But that happens at about, I mean, it happens a bit earlier in like later pregnancies, but first one, you usually, I guess because your body knows more then, but you don't feel the baby until like 20 weeks along. Anyone who is telling you that they're feeling their baby at 13 weeks is lying.
True.
And anyone who's telling you that they're feeling their baby move when it's still a freaking zygote.
3 days after that sperm jumped into that egg.
Right. Like, I'm just going to be very realistic right now. You could get pregnant and then not know it. Like,
yeah. I mean, some people,
at the weekend stage, you might, like,
some people
you
know,
miscarry and not know.
Yeah, but like, I mean, there are some people that their early pregnancy symptoms, like their hormone changes, etc., like they know from almost the get-go that they're pregnant, and those are usually the ones that, unless you're actually trying for a baby, they're usually the ones that end up having a pregnancy test before their missed period because they're like, I feel pregnant, because they know what they're feeling for.
Yeah, it's people that have had like multiple kids.
Yeah, but. Yeah, even people that have had multiple kids, they usually don't know until they're at least late.
Yep.
And your first sign, like, you don't even get morning sickness that early.
Yeah, isn't the first sign typically like actual physical changes, especially in the breasties? Isn't that like one of the first?
The first sign is usually a missed period.
Well, yeah.
But boobs, yeah. Boobs are the reason why I took both of my positive pregnancy tests, because my boobs, first one was my nipples looked different and my boobs felt a bit more sensitive, and second one was my boobs felt a little bit heavier. And yeah.
The more you know.
Like, yeah, that's boobs were why I took pregnancy tests. So
Brad
the fucking horse. Who gives a shit? I don't know. He doesn't have a personality. He's just Brad.
Doesn't, like, in that author's note, she's like, here's the thing. This is, I think, supposed to be a romance. I can't fucking tell, because there's no romance. Like, there's no buildup. There's no like meet cute between the bitch and the centaur. There's no
That's no like name for this book.
Like eyes like
longing
eyes from across the room. Like there's none of that. There's no my heart went pitter patter. There's no
but there was no getting all hot and bothered in the fucking river when a horse clipped it clops towards her.
Well, yeah, there was that. So it didn't go from like,
it goes from nothing to sexual tension. That's it.
She hasn't even seen him in human form yet. Like, honestly, again, I feel like if you wanted to have your main person be a centaur, like, have him be human form 90% of the time, but he had to be a centaur during the wedding because it was like it was a thing.
And like during battle, he turns into a centaur.
Fine.
That's
have
it.
Him be human the rest of the time.
Yeah.
And definitely don't have him get her off in the ways that he gets her off.
Okay, let's talk about that. So here's what hippity happens. So this
it's
one time,
Snefford in the bull.
So in order to change to human, because human is not his primary form, it takes a lot out of him. So not only can they not boink very often, which is very unfortunate for somebody who's newly in a relationship, because you're newly in a relationship, you're just going at it like rabbits. And
it weakens him. Like, it's not like, it hurts like when like you're going from like human to wolfy wolf. Yeah, let's just get rid of that. I can't actually. I don't have it open. It just came up in my side chat. On stream.
I did it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
But like, it's not like, like in Mercy where they change to wolf and it hurts and they're like a bit cranky for about 5 minutes. No, like it actually like more longer term weakens them.
Yeah. So at one point she's like, I'm so horny, and he's like, I okay. And so he's like, well, there's a thing I can do for you. And so he's human from the up top. So excuse my French, I expected him to like, you know, Michael Phelps that smush cookie or
but I mean, like, can you freaking imagine though? Like how?
I don't know. Okay, I
Like,
don't know.
Really
but I expected either finger banging or Michael Phelpsing. One of the two.
Yeah, that's what I expected.
He starts off with one. He starts off with one of
Yeah,
those.
fine.
Okay.
But he doesn't end there.
No. What I did not expect was for her to take off her clothes, be put upon his horsey back, and then he gallops around, and then he jizzes on, and then she's like, oh, that was satisfying. Now how do I get you off?
And he's just like, no.
Horsemate?
No.
Like, okay,
we'll
just discuss the writing first, because the second part we're gonna have to have a thing, okay? He's like, I'm going to canter around, and I want you to move your pelvis in time with my strides. And then as he's doing it, he's like, push harder, baby, harder. And she's thrusting against his back while he's galloping.
I had to read that scene like 3 times to get what was going on. I still don't get it.
Because I was like, what the fuck just happened?
I really wish that because I've been listening to it in VLC, I wish I had the chapter markers so I could find it and just play it.
I can tell you what fucking chapter. Oh, wait, do you not have like chapter separations in
No,
there?
but do you have the chapter markers? Because you're listening on Audible. Yes. Can you? Okay, we need to find the chapter.
Find it.
All right, I can find the chapter.
Search canter, because he canters in it.
I should have it in my notes actually.
Oh, okay.
Because I definitely wrote that fucking thing down. Yeah, one of my notes. Hi, Nyx, fucking kill me. Okay, chapter 35, because I wrote down, wait. Hold the fucking iPhone. Oh, fuck. I wrote down, like, the actual chapters. It should be part 3, chapter... Fuck.
Okay, this is a problem, because it's not chapterized like that.
Yeah, that's how I wrote them down.
Just find it.
Wait, give me a second.
If you find it in an ebook, you can just read it out loud.
Okay, yeah, that's easy.
Wait. Okay, here we go. I have the thing. It is chapter 11 in its respective part, whichever part it is. I'm guessing it's part 2 or part 3.
Part 3.
Yeah, chapter 11.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's not chapterized like that, so.
How's it chapterized?
It's just like straight up numbers.
Okay, give me a second. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
well, it's
10.
Chapter 35 overall.
Oh, chapter 35 overall?
Yeah, that's how I wrote them down.
Okay, that's fine.
Go away.
Chapter 11. I looped my arms around his shoulders and leaned in.
See how far into it is.
In that chin, tiny thongs. I whispered more than a little breathlessly. I thought it wasn't smart for you to feel dizzy about human female anatomy.
Oh, God, his voice.
I'm sure if I'd heard him correctly. What? I still don't understand. His hand traveled from my breasts to my waist.
I'm sorry.
I want you to scoot forward.
You're almost there.
Press your body against me.
Yep.
Wrap your arms tightly around me. Then move with my rhythm. He kissed me again. I made a mewing sound when his fingers stilled.
I'm sorry, Lorelai.
He held me with one hand.
You're too good for
She
this.
tries to do this. She could have said no.
Then I felt his strong hands encircle my waist, and he lifted me, placing me firmly on his back.
How?
He turned his head and spoke over his shoulder. Hold me tightly. I moved myself as far forward as I could, loving the feel of my naked breasts against the heat of his back. I wrapped my arms
Send
tightly around
help.
He's got 2 bags.
from his chest
What the
down
hell
to his
took you
hard
guys?
stomach, while I kissed and nibbled on the line of his shoulder
This is
blades.
horrible.
Now, Press yourself against me.
Ah!
So gross.
Thick with desire, and I felt chills travel down my inner thighs in response.
Ah!
He started out, moving in a rolling canter. I felt my pelvis rock with him, back and forth.
Okay, all right, that's enough. That's enough. I'm sorry. I
But
can't.
that's literally it.
And she jizzes.
That's literally it. Like, then
Yeah,
she just
and then-
like not even a paragraph, like 2 lines later.
And then, like, okay, like, and let's get to the next part. Let's get to the next, because
So now, what about you thing?
yeah,
I have
I'm
it up.
finding the actual thing.
I have it up right now.
Okay, because
Ahem. What about you? Me? Yeah. You know, is there something I can do to pleasure you? I think not, love, he said when he was able to control himself after laughing.
And she got all
Then-
embarrassed and stuff, and he's like, "Look, I didn't mean to embarrass you, but like,
I'm pleased you offered, but you're such a small human.
And then she responds, "But it doesn't seem fair. I want to please you too. Although I really did enjoy the fact that he thought of me as small." And he's like, "Your pleasure is my own," and that's it. And I'm just like, she's freaking disappointed that she can't jack off a horse.
PC cast.
Babe, I have a question.
Yes, what?
If you were a
She means Dixie.
if you were a centaur, right, and you made me ride your back to get me off because you couldn't shift into human form, right, just right now.
Yeah.
And I jizz all over your back, and then I'm like, now can I get you off? Is that weird? You're a horse from the waist down. You would bend me over and pound me as a freaking horse.
Dixie, no.
You know
No,
what?
for real though.
We
Is that
need a-
not weird?
We need a full focus group.
Like,
Okay, fine.
Ha-
I will.
like
I will
what is
traumatize
okay,
her.
he,
Say like she ended up in this relationship kind of by default somehow.
yeah, she ended up in the by default, but now she's in love with him. They banged while he's in human form.
Yeah, well, that's happens after a while.
Yeah, but then he makes her ride his back, and she's thrusting her pelvis against his horseback, and she jizzes, and then she's like, "But I want to get you off." Is that weird?
Okay.
So the question is that weird?
Yes, my boyfriend has been texted. He's been contacted.
Mine too. Mine too. And he's read it. Mine's read it.
I don't think he would legitimately horse fuck me.
I doubt it.
think
I
that
would
was
hope not.
I hope that was sarcasm. He's laughing, so he has said sarcasm.
Oh, he's typing. No. Oh
What did he say?
Did he just say he'd bend you over and horse fuck you too?
no! No, but he said no question mark. It is weird because you be a horse with. I'm not jacking off a horse. What I said in all caps.
So I think one thing we're established is Clan Finton is more like a female and Shannon is more like a male in this scenario. Because stuff happens when you fall in love with a centaur, apparently.
He just said, "Why would you let a horseman get you off in the first place?"
Fair.
That's the correct question.
That is
because you love him, that's why.
no, just
Because you love him.
no.
And you get all hot and bothered when he clippity clops.
He said, "You give a weird scenario, you're getting a weird response."
Fair.
That's fair. Thank you for participating in science. The end. We also had to do like actual research for this because smallpox happened. Cough, cough, Outlander, whatever. It's fine. And She's acting like she would have an actual inoculation scar on her, but I talked to my mother, who was born only a few years after Shannon would have been, and there is no scar from the smallpox vaccine at that time. So Shannon, you were wrong.
But also, not only does she have a scar, it is her most favorite of all her scars because it means that she won't get smallpox.
No.
And she's so proud of the fact that when she went to school and they were like, "Hey, do you want a booster? Do you want a smallpox booster?" She said, "Yes, please." Like, it sounds like I'm sounding like I'm anti-vax. I'm not. I'm like pro-vax. I'm vaccinated. My kids are vaccinated. Sticks is vaccinated. Like, vaccinations are a thing that
important.
I think are good.
Yes, do them.
But I'm not proud of it.
Yeah,
well, it's literally just a bare minimum of what you can do.
Yeah,
I'm not proud of the fact that I eat to survive.
But the other thing about this scene that's dumb is that, like, the scar in Outlander served a purpose.
Yeah,
because for one thing, okay, spoilers for Outlander. Galus
been out for 30 years.
Galus has to like have a mark that's like, I have the mark of the devil.
It's the devil's mark.
And then in order for Claire to prove to Jamie that she's from the future, she's like, I also have this thing because I'm from the future. They figure out that Shannon is not Rhiannon because her personality has totally changed. So
yeah, and Alana's husband is just like, you're not fucking Rhea. What are you doing here?
So it doesn't need like the scar to prove anything. And then moreover, the fact that like she's vaccinated is enough because they already know that she's not from there. So all she has to say is, I'm vaccinated.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that in our world where we get inoculated against diseases.
Yeah.
But also, I don't buy for a second also that magical centaur having land and vampire bats, whatever the fuck these things are. Like, I don't know. I don't actually even know what they look like.
Well, we didn't get to really see what they look like in person.
They're batty people is what I get. Why would their strain of smallpox be our strain of smallpox?
Exactly.
And I would not be, and like, I mean, okay, just on the off chance that it is, she's still taking the freaking risk. She's like, oh, well, it's clearly smallpox. I'm fine. It's like, do you know how many forms of flu there are? How many strains of influenza there are?
Yeah, moreover, just because, also, by the way, like, we don't have the smallpox vaccine. So we need to, before we go through the stones, BT dubs, we need to.
But they make it anymore because it's gone.
Well, they do, but you have to be.
Yeah, I guess so.
Works with it in a lab to get it. So we have a couple steps. We have a couple steps to go through before we can. Anyway, moving on.
We've been planning our trip through the stones ever since I got
Make sure you also get your tetanus shot updated.
Yeah.
But our plans to go through the stones aside, just because you have a vaccine for something does not necessarily mean that you should just go romping around through a room.
I'm pretty sure the doctors that have, like, we'll use a modern day example, measles. I'm pretty sure that a lot of doctors still take some sort of preventative measures, like, gloves at the very least.
Yeah, like
gloves, masks.
Look, vaccines are very effective. We're very pro-vax in this household. But again, if you know that somebody has a disease, even if you are vaccinated against it, you should still be taking every precaution you possibly can.
Because
vaccines,
vaccines are not 100% effective.
What they do is science lessons with Book Club with Bay. They work on herd immunity. It's not necessarily, I mean, it really depends on the vaccine, but it's not necessarily individual immunity, it's herd immunity.
Well, and not just that, but like, because generally, like, there are some vaccines where you get a live vaccine, like the rubella / chickenpox, whatever you want to call it, vaccine. That's a live vaccine. So like it can actually, like, the cells can actually reproduce, like the viral cells can reproduce inside of you. Most vaccines are killed vaccines. So what they do is they just give you, so they can't reproduce. So it just gives you enough of the disease. They can't
Expose
reproduce.
yourself to it.
To get the exposure and develop the antibodies. So if you do happen to come into contact with it, you've already got antibodies, so you can either fight it off without ever actually catching it, or if you do catch it, you're also likely to have a much milder case of it because you had pre-antibodies inside of you. So it's vaccines work on a multitude of levels, on an individual and herd in general level. But you can still get a disease that you have antibodies for. It's just depending on the disease, it's potentially less likely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be willing to take a risk with the freaking smallpox.
No, which is why herd immunity is so important. Get yourself vaccinated. Also,
and also just PSA on the get yourself vaccinated front. I think smallpox is actually the perfect example because there was a global effort to vaccinate against smallpox, and it was eradicated freaking 40 years ago.
40 years ago now. Almost 50.
1977 was the last outbreak of smallpox, and it is officially eradicated since then. So go get vaccinated.
So the vaccine scar on Galus in Outlander.
It's yeah.
Yeah, it's a different book / TV series, but it's a long story, but she was in a witch trial, and to save the main character, she pretended that she had the mark of the devil by showing her smallpox vaccine scar.
Which, I mean, and Claire immediately sees it and goes, that's why she said it's possible 1968.
Yeah. But I just double checked. Yeah, measles doctors do still wear PPE.
Oh well, yeah, of course.
Like, just double checked. Doctors that are vaccinated against the measles, they still wear PPE. So just because you had the vaccine doesn't mean you shouldn't be wearing PPE amongst highly contagious freaking disease.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm done.
Okay.
Oh, also, actually, no, on that front, still, they're like, okay, healer dude has to stick around, like, just wash your hands and all that crap, like, all that. However, Alana, healer dude's wife / Rhea's best friend, whatever, you can't be here, so you must oversee the boiling of the water so you don't get the smallpox, or the pox of the small, rather, if we're going to speak like this. However, dude, okay, now that you finished treating patients for the day, go bang your wife. I'm like, she could have just stayed. No, anyone who is treating people needs to be quarantined because you're in fucking medieval land with no PPE. There's no personal protection equipment to be seen. So you don't go home and bang your wife. You sleep in a locked room by yourself. Everyone sleeps in a freaking shack by themselves.
I mean, dude, could we really expect more than this?
No, we couldn't have. And here's the thing.
No, I was expecting more because you made such a big deal about, I'm so proud of my vaccination scar. It's my favorite one.
Again, the author's note promises so much, and we get nothing.
Yes, we get sex. It's fucking weird sex, but we get it. Oh,
this
also,
is a 48-chapter book, and nothing happens.
Yeah, except for jizzing on horses' backs and shit.
Stop it! Stop. No.
Back jizz.
I don't want to talk about it.
Back jizz. I wonder who named him after.
That's that's a good point. Like, how does that's like now matted in his fur. Because she took off her underwear. And you know what? In my opinion, if that's what they were going to do.
Also, like, she could, like, I mean.
Did she have to take off her underwear?
I feel like it would be less gross if she left it on.
Yeah.
Because at least then she wouldn't be having horsehair right up her hoo-ha.
Ew.
Yeah, that wasn't thought you'd gotten to yet, was it? We hadn't done that yet.
Ow, would that hurt? I don't even know.
No. It wouldn't hurt.
No, but
The
it would
hair's
feel
quite
weird.
soft.
Yeah, the
But-
hair is soft, but
But she's like, you think it's bad enough when you go to the beach, right? You know, and sand gets in your swimmers. Imagine what it's like trying to get the horsehair out of there.
Fucking
especially
kill me.
without like modern showers and everything.
Oh,
where
and
they have to bathe in, like,
especially considering as well the fact that I don't think she has a razor, so she's probably like accumulating her own amount of hair.
I don't. Well, she didn't really plan for this. You know what I mean?
No, I
She
know.
didn't
I'm not.
plan-
No, like that's
she
not,
didn't bring a razor like TJ and I are going to do when we go through the stones. We're gonna bring razors.
We have like, I think
I
like
can't
one day we got
blame her
drunk and
for
sat down and made like a fucking list of all the shit we need.
yeah. Like, I can't blame her for her lack of hair removal prep. You know, because
Yeah.
like she was driving home from a freaking estate sale. Like it's fine. However, his hair, his horseback hair, is gonna get all tangled up in her hair. And you can't, and it's going to be even harder to get it out.
Brad. Although
Oh,
Brad
Brad.
almost dies. That
What?
does happen. Brad almost dies
He
Did he?
almost
Oh, I
died.
forgot.
in quicksand. Yeah, he almost dies in quicksand, but it doesn't fucking matter because nothing matters.
Honestly, I'm not going to lie. Like, when he started sinking, you guys have seen Neverending Story,
yeah,
right?
yeah, you're right. That's what I thought of too.
Heart attacks, don't be sad, heart attacks. It's fine. That's what I was expecting to happen, like an Artax scene, sinking in the swamp of sadness. But no, she's like, shift to human, I can pull you out. I'm sorry, like, even
He
if
still
he's in
can
human,
pull out a grown ass man who is
I
6
was
foot
right.
seven.
Who's very bulky. And
I mean,
can he pick his form?
You know what he? You know
He
what
can.
he? Yes, but you know what he didn't do? Because you know what would have been smarter. He should have shape shifted to a bunny rabbit, and she could have
Or
just picked up
bird.
his ears and plucked him up.
Yeah, like
right. But instead,
Instead-
he shifts to like a hulking man, and it's like,
A
look,
7 foot, ripped as fuck, densest muscle mass man you've ever met in
like
your life.
I'm
with
sorry,
a dick like no one else's.
but
That's what he shapeshifted to.
but even if you shapeshift to like that, I don't work out. She doesn't work out. I'm not pulling you out of this quicksand. You got
sorry.
you got to shapeshift to a fucking bunny rabbit. Like you got to work
like-
with me here.
Like, the reason I'm thinking bunny rabbit is because I've got the long ears, so she could just like
Yeah, she could
grab them and just, you know, it's fine. I mean, like you shouldn't pick a bunny up that way. But if
No.
it's sinking in quicksand,
Honestly, look, if you have to save a bunny, you do what you got to do.
I was thinking bird because all I could think of this entire book was TJ saying, "Mommy, I want to fuck a bed." But now it's Mommy,
Mommy, I want
a
to
horse.
fuck a horse.
Yeah, I'm waiting for her to have a conversation with her mother, and the next
mean,
book
like-
when she like goes back. You know,
I mean, like, I love horses. I love horses, but I don't
Love horses.
but you don't want to boink a horse, right?
Let us
I know.
dissect. I
And I
believe.
have horse ridden many a time. Like I used to have a freaking pony. And I've horse ridden post puberty. Like, you know, like I've had my sexual awakening and I've horse ridden. Okay. And you know what I didn't do?
Just
I
on
didn't
horseback.
orgasm. I did not orgasm while
But did
riding
you
a
ride
horse.
bareback though? Were you in a saddle?
Yes.
It's different.
I have ridden
though.
bareback. I have ridden bareback, okay? It
But
was a fucking
without.
fun.
Don't worry. Never mind. Okay.
But I did not have a man chest to cling on to. And he was not telling me thrust against me harder.
Oh god.
So maybe that's what was missing. Maybe it was
Maybe you
the
just
lack
need Brad.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
Brad.
So let us dissect what is wrong with Brad and why this is disgusting. Because I feel like we need
He's a horse.
Well, I feel like we need to lay it out. So because Bay and I talked about this earlier, but now that Addie's here, like let's fucking discuss this. So for example, you have things such as werewolves and in werewolf lore, like we talked about earlier with Charles and Anna in Alpha and Omega, like they never look. First of all, they're primarily
talking
people.
about this on the Morganville stream, not this one.
Yeah, we were. They're primarily people. So first of all, secondly, neither one of them ever looks at each other in doggy form, in puppy form. and goes, my
Boink.
dick. I'm so
Like-
rock hard right now. Like,
Even
ever.
when they're both boys.
Yeah. They're never
I-
just like, we're going to
understand.
boink in doggy form. If it happens, we don't know about it. So, like, there's no animal crossover. This is awful, and I hate it. Because
You
yeah,
should have just been a human most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. That would have fixed it.
Yeah, then it would have been fine. Then we wouldn't even be sitting here like questioning it. But the thing is, she wants to boink him. She starts to want to boink him when he's still a horse.
Yeah, she hasn't even seen him in his human form yet. And she just, like Bae said, she hears him clippity-cloppeting. And she's like, I think I want to boink that.
I think I want that dick in me, you know? Like,
I'm upset. This upsets me on a
lightly
level.
tap myself in the skull with my lip balm.
Horrible. This is horrible. I mean, and like this book has no plot. Like
It tries. It does try with the vampires and the smallpox, but they don't matter. Like it's just stupid.
Yeah,
and she's also we're either bathing or dreaming for 90% of this book.
Yeah, there's so much bathing. And then there's this one time where she's just topless for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
And then she's topless and also bloody.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Also, like, for a woman who comes from a society where especially like 2001 era, where
we live in a society.
We live in a society where being topless is not okay. In public, she got over that real fucking quick.
She got over everything real fucking quick.
Yeah, like, here's the other thing. Like, she does not care that she has lost her best friend, that she loves her students so much, but she's not upset about that at all.
She doesn't give a fuck that she's not a teacher anymore.
Yeah, like, she loves being a teacher so much, but she doesn't care about it. Like,
bitch has no loyalty.
She and Brad have no chemistry. She has no attachment, and this is kind of, I mean, like, let me know if you disagree with this. She's got no attachment to her name, which strikes me as odd.
Yeah.
Because she's just like, yeah, just call me Rhea. It's fine. And it's like, if I were in a strange land, suddenly, ripped away from my entire life, and then it was like, and also the one thing that can still identify you, like your primary identifier, which is your name, you cannot have that either. That would be like upsetting to me.
Yeah.
But no, she's just like, yeah, just call me that. That's fun. Like, not even having your husband able to call you by your name would be, I feel like that should be upsetting.
But no, she doesn't. She also only thinks about telling him like once. And then she just like, then she has no choice but to. And so it's just stupid. It's just fucking stupid.
Also, he has like no reaction to it. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, okay, that's cool. I knew you were different. That's fine.
Like, which seemed dumb.
Yeah, like, this bitch read Outlander, obviously, with all the references she made. Like, yeah, Jamie believed her, but that's because, one, he was already fucking balls deep in love with her. And two, she, like, kind of had proof. And he was like, honestly, you know what? I love you. I've traveled the world, you know. You say it, I'll believe it. And then he does get proof later that it's true because he watches her fucking yeet.
Yeah. Like, and again, the thing is, like I said, I'm pretty sure this, you know what? It's on Audible Escape. It's supposed to be romance. Despite the fact that he's a fucking horse.
God.
There's no romance whatsoever.
No. Not at all. There's no bonding. There's nothing.
Yeah, like, there's no romancing happening. Like, there's no bonding. There's no, like, they don't ever actually sit down and have a conversation.
And you know I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for romances. even I didn't ship this. Even I didn't give a
There was nothing to ship.
yeah, like I like with Cardin and whatever her Jude.
Yeah.
How could I forget Jude? Like I still shipped them, even though there was like it's really weird. Still shipped them because I'm a sucker. But here, like even my suckerness did not.
Well, like it just didn't make
it.
any sense.
No. She just wanted them to be forced into a marriage and then fall in love.
But like the author's note says that he reluctantly falls in love.
But he doesn't reluctantly fall in love. There is like no.
He doesn't have enough personality to reluctantly fall in
Yeah.
love.
Sorry about that, by the way.
Because he's just like, oh, okay, I'm in love now. Like,
Yeah, I think I feel like, because I'm just coming into just hearing about the author's note saying he reluctantly falls in love. That's all I've heard.
That's
okay,
fine. That's where we're at now.
Yeah, I feel like, I guess the reluctance would be the fact that he's met a couple times before and she was a bit
and
of
he hated her guts. Yeah.
but you don't feel that. Like, you don't feel like he hates her, you know? And the other thing on her end is that, so writing advice from Book Club with Bae, how to write people falling in love. Usually when you're writing people falling in love, there's always an internal realization before it's ever said out loud, because in real life, that's how it happens. You know, you're just like in the shower, driving down the road, like just trying to get your groceries, and you're like, oh, God damn it.
Fuck, I'm in love. Shit.
And that's how it happens.
Tuesday.
And so then you have to process that, and you're like, motherfucker. Or you're excited about it. That's fine. Like, it's just not what happened with me. But so, you know, so you have like the internal realization of like, oh shit, I think I'm in love with this person. And then maybe depending on the character, you'll have like but am I doing too fast? Or like, do they love me? Holy shit. Like some kind of like, oh my God, I'm in love angst.
The one exception to that is, you know, yeah, you're with the person and something happens where, like, you know, you would ordinarily
near-death
be like,
experience almost happens.
Yeah, or like, you know, like I don't know, he gets you something really, like he gets you like a really awesome present, and your immediate verbal response is, "Oh my God, thank you, I love you," and then you're like,
and then you unpack it,
and then you're like, and he's like, because he wasn't expecting the L-bomb.
But there still needs to be like some build up to it.
Yeah, of course.
Like something. It's not just like, damn, I wanna pick his hooves, and then I love you. I don't know. Like, he's a fucking horse.
I know. This is a love story about a fucking horse. And this is PC Cap's favorite love interest, guys.
Generally, as well, when you're writing a romantic love interest story, if they're not the same species, they're both, you know, human form. Like, I mean,
yeah.
Like, I guess technically, like Adam and Mercy technically aren't the same species, but they're both human.
What about our famous Stevie Ray?
No, it's not. That's
the thing. The exception to the rule is also PC Cast.
Yeah. So, it happens twice.
Okay, sorry, I'm just reading this.
I'm just going to read it out loud. I'm curious about your reactions. Are you all just upset because he's a centaur and she's a human? Or are you upset that they could be compatible and be reproductive across species line? So just
that exactly is mentioned.
What do you think is the primary driver of evolutionary change in animal species?
Have you seen a wildebeest? Okay, well, we think it's gross because he's a horse.
Yeah, I mean, what's gross is she's sexually attracted to a fucking horse.
Yeah, and she's sexually attracted to the horse part.
Before she ever saw him as a human, and then she got off riding his horsey back, and then wanted to jack him off as a horse.
And she does, at the end of the book, she does ask, like, well, what species will our children be? And he's like, honestly, I have no idea. So
she might be birthing a foal.
She might be birthing a foal.
Like, our problem is not that he's a centaur. Our problem is that they engage in sexual activities and that she's attracted to the horsey bits. because that's weird and bestiality is weird, okay?
And also, she comes from our era, where, especially like 20 years ago, bestiality was even less probably accepted. It's not accepted now, but like even less so back then, because everyone was more closed-minded even 20 years ago.
Yeah, like nobody knew even about furries, okay? 20 years ago, like.
Yeah, and like dead set PC cast is into pony play.
Should I tweet her that YouTube video of
Yes.
yes. I'm not doing. Oh yeah. So by the way, I do have a direct line of communication with PC Cast. Every time I tweet her, she tweets me back. It's really great. We're friends.
Well, can you ask her how exactly Shannon was planning on getting Brad off?
No, I'm not asking that.
I want to know. I need to know.
Well, remember when you tweeted her, TJ, saying like, if you fuck your other self, is it cheating? And she basically said no.
Yeah, she said
or if
no.
You fuck, if Zoe fucked other Stark, is that cheating? And she said it wasn't cheating. And I was like, yeah, but yes, it is. They're different fucking people.
As established by.
Even though they make out.
You call it bestiality, but isn't that just another fancy word for evolution? No, that's not how evolution works. Two species don't fucking create a new one.
Also, humans don't fuck species to create a new species. We fuck other humans.
Your doggo can't consent.
Your doggo can't consent.
Evolution is not two completely unrelated species fucking and
it's not like that they have like anything in common. Genetically. Except for, I guess, the half human part.
Evolution is a slow, for lack of a better term, evolution of traits amongst the species. To the point where the traits end up changing over generations of time, to the point where they're unrecognizable from the original species.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. So
it's fine.
Oh god, it was weird.
Okay, this person's just a fucking troll. Because how do you know that's how evolution works? Because that's how
Bae,
works.
just stop.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm sorry. I can't.
So
this book was a mistake.
It was.
Divine. I was just reading the title over and over again. And so my brain.
By next book, she's divine by choice.
Okay, well, that book's not going to be a choice for us either. It's just going to be a fucking thing. It's a lot shorter. I don't know what the ebook is or the audiobook is, but
I imagine though there's not going to be as much horse fucking in the next book.
Yeah, because in the blurb it already fucking tells you that she goes back. Wow, we have book 2 where she's back in her own time. And then she's pregnant.
I guess just how much Rhiannon fucked up the relationships that she apparently doesn't give a shit about. So
I am requesting that we take a break and do something in between.
That works.
Do you want to do Soul Screamers?
Yeah, let's do that.
It'll be. There are infuriating parts, but it's not as soul crushing.
Yeah.
The next one is only 11 hours. Comparatively, that's not as bad.
It's not as bad, but holy fuck.
Yeah, 5 hours better.
Yeah.
But we also need to work out a time to do The Witcher as well at some point.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm fucking done. I can't, guys. I can't.
So many books.
Sorry.
So many books.
That's not what I'm dunning at.
Yeah, no, I know. Don't worry about it.
It's okay.
Just hard ignore.
I think this is worse than like getting off an horse.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm too tired for this shit.
So we'll do, what is it? It's called Soul Screamers?
Yeah.
Yes. It's about
literary series. It's about banshees.
Who's it by?
Rachel Vincent.
We're starting out with not the novella, right?
No, the novella.
We start out with the novella?
Yes. Yes.
So My Soul to Lose is the first one. Okay.
Yes. We can do
Cool.
probably My Soul to Lose and
My Soul to Take at the same time.
yes.
Let me see how long My Soul to Lose is.
It's pretty short.
61 pages. Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about teenage banshees.
Nice.
Huzzah.
Huzzah!
And there's other things as well. There ends up being a thing in it called Amara. Well, not as one word, like Mara with one R. is the thing in it. And I'm just like, oh look, it's me. Especially when you find out what it is, like what Amara is, you're like, oh look, it's her. But yeah, no, I vetted it as well, because I listened to it I think earlier this year just to make sure it was at least annoying enough for Bad Book Week, and it is. It's fine.
It's enough.
Cool.
Oh, the cover says Twilight fans will love it.
Yeah, no, this was utterly soul crushing.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this one's not as bad though. I'm really hoping.
Well, since it's a lot shorter, I mean, I think will be inherently less.
I mean, the one thing that was kind of interesting was that there were lines that I was like, I know this is cringy, but because Lorelai King is reading it, it doesn't sound as cringy.
Yeah.
Which goes to show you that bad writing, like a bad writing style, can be masked by a
mildly amended. Yeah.
By masked by a good narrator.
It really does show that a narrator can make or break a book as well.
Yes.
Because, yeah, I feel like listening to it being read, Lorelai King did an awesome job. She did, but the content.
But the source material is.
Yeah, she couldn't fix it. Okay.
Yeah, I saw, I looked at the reviews on Audible, and a bunch of all the bad ones were one or 2 stars, and then 5 stars for Lorelai King, and one of them was not even Lorelai King could save this. I'm like, nope, no, she couldn't. So do we have anything else to add?
I'm just having.
This took way less time than I expected it to.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think we're just dead.
I think this book, well, also because we all basically binge read it, but in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I texted y'all last night saying I'm just gonna try to get it to the end of part 2. No, I just fucking finished it last night. I was like, I'm just not going to bed until this is done. I don't want to do it.
I got done with I read a little bit of it last night, but then I binge read it today while I was working, and
Yeah, you didn't finish until
I finished 15 minutes or so, or 30 minutes or so before we started streaming.
And I finished about
a minute.
5 minutes. Yeah, I literally because I've got my headphones for my phone here. I literally went whoop and joined.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we're just all a little dead inside. We might have had more to say if we had finished it a day early.
And had a little bit of time to mentally unpack what we just experienced.
I think we mentally unpacked all the high points, though. I think it's just also the fact that there's it tried to have plot, but it didn't succeed.
Yeah,
I think we still got all the information across. It's just
the plot is vampire bat people that do a thing, and then there's smallpox, and then she's pregnant.
And boinking a horse.
The one thing that definitely, in my opinion, made this worse than House of Night is that we don't have an Aphrodite.
Well, like what I said to y'all, House of Night is at least fun. It's fun to make fun of. It's fun to read because we can scream about Heath and how much we hate him, and
how much
the first person
being attracted to a horse.
Yeah, and we can make fun of
like,
Nephrit
what
for
you
fucking
say-
a bull
Oh,
because she's the villain.
that's got one more thing. Got one more freaking thing. That just reminded me. Like I was gonna say, for as much as Zoe's a freaking slut, at least she's only attracted to people. There's a lot of slut shaming in this book.
There's a lot of slut shaming in this book. Yeah, she calls
Mhm.
her counterpart, Rhiannon, whatever, a slut like
racist
50
slut.
fucking times.
And I'm
She's
just
like, she's a bad person, she's mean, she's a whore, and I'm like, dude, fucking calm down.
I mean, from what we know about Rhiannon, yeah, she's a slut. But you know what, PC? So Zoe and Aphrodite is not. Like,
Yeah, that was one of like the kind of shocking things about this book was like it's
See
not
how much their opinions have changed.
yeah, it's not at all consistent with PC's opinions.
Oh, well,
of-
PC. Well, then, actually, I've got another thing as well. Direct quote: "Yes, miss. I noticed your hair when you drove in. Quite a nice color to see today. Too many young women seem to want to ruin their hair by dyeing it unnatural colors, burgundy, yellow, black, and cutting it short. So yours stands out." And then you Google PC.
I'm also
color.
glad to know that black hair is unnatural.
Yeah.
That's
you Google
totally.
PC and she dyes her hair like in this one picture. Here's her with a nice burgundy stripe down her hair, and it's short.
And it's yellow because blonde hair is unnatural.
Well, also here is her with flaming yellow hair. And it's just like, you can't criticize fucking
you
and do it.
There's a lot of like a lot of the stuff that's in House of Night, like the R word stuff or the stuff about like, you know, gay people and black people is pretty egregious.
Especially when Stevie Ray spends the first few books just chucking it out there, and then like 4 books later,
yells at Aphrodite.
Look up the rword.com. People are actually affected.
Yeah, and then in this book, like the stuff that the main character says is so toxic
offensive.
and like just horribly disgusting.
Mm-hmm. And okay, another thing as well. It was bad enough. I don't know. I mean, it's not. In some ways, it's not as bad in this book because it doesn't happen as often. But the fact that it's happening to a 35-year-old woman, like I think that cancels out the lack of frequency. But she also says poopy twice.
You know what else was in this that we hated in House of Night? Fucking poems and ruining pop culture.
Yeah, I mean,
other than Outlander.
At least with the poems, at least PC didn't write the poems in this book.
It's true.
It's true.
Just reciting them like my fucking painting professor.
And you know what? You could tell that she didn't write them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tell.
Yeah, and like with the pop culture references, though, I will say were a lot more timeless.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you had,
except for like her obsession with Pierce Brosnan. I'm like, well, like if someone who turned 18 tomorrow read this book, they'd probably have to Google who the fuck he is.
They might not know who he is. Yeah,
that's true. But by and large, like John Wayne,
Phantom,
Phantom, Sean Connery as 007, like
also Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, he was 007, but it was Sean Connery is a much more
iconic one. Yeah, he's the iconic 007.
So all of that's pretty timeless, which is better than House of Night was.
Which it just dates it constantly, yeah.
But like inconsistently dates it. That's the worst part.
Yeah, because as we've talked about, like if you want to date your books,
that's fine.
That's totally fine. but date them consistently. So like had House of Night stayed consistent with the references, it would have been fine. Like how the references
would have made so much more sense.
But that amount of pop culture references, like if you like, it took them how many years to write it? Like, so it would have just been like, as each book came out, but like the reader would just be like, "What the fuck?" In which case, don't do them.
Literally, in the Otherworld series, it's supposed to be 2009.
Yep. But they're gonna make Tulsa strong again.
Kill me.
Donald Trump isn't even yet thinking about being president. God, Cass.
But no, it's,
anyway,
whatever.
And
hey,
we now know that PC is the main person at fault for House of Night.
But we found a book worse than House of Night. I think. Well, actually, wait. What's worse, Die Sisters or House of Night?
House of Night.
Like one thing that like House of Night didn't get canceled and in fact got a sequel series.
Yeah, for me, Die Sisters is worse. I hated it more.
I mean,
that was a 4-hour stream, man, where we just bitched.
Like,
thank goodness we took full advantage of Die Sisters as much as we could because we're not getting.
It got canceled,
which is unfortunate.
I'm actually really sad that it got canceled.
Yeah, I wanted more of that one. You know what? Yeah, Die Sisters was worse.
But we are getting another series coming out in May from PC and Kristen.
At least in House of Night, they didn't swing dance
in a tornado.
They didn't swing dance a plane to safety.
Maybe House of Night isn't as bad as we think it is. Maybe that's our lesson in this. Maybe House of Night really isn't that bad.
It is. It might, you know what? As we keep journeying through PC and Kirsten Cast's library, maybe what we'll find is that House of Night is like
it's just the best.
Is the best of what they've written.
Well,
I wouldn't be surprised. The House of Night does hold a special place in my heart. It does hold a special place.
It does.
Like Zoe's like I still feel like Zoe's the worst MC out of.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Well, I'll say this: like, I couldn't listen to it because I don't like the narrator, but I could still sit down and read Marked and enjoy myself.
I could still read quite a few of the books. Like I could probably read was Redeemed the last one. I could probably reread the Redeemed and have a.
No, I can't because supplicants must supplicate. At my supplication.
It doesn't bother me as much as it bothers y'all.
I guess because you're not having to listen to it.
Yeah, I don't have to hear it.
Yeah.
Because I can just skim.
You're like, oh, Edward's coming up. Mentally skip.
Me with Brad's real name.
But I could reread. I mean, I know we ragged on it when it happened. But like, I kind of don't mind them also like making us rewatch Heath die about 50 million times. Heath die.
I could. I'm so excited for the TV show, and I hope that it's so good.
I hope that they show us watching him die as many times as we got to watch him die in the books.
Yeah.
I really hope they don't fix Heath so we can enjoy watching him die.
That's also true. I hope they don't make Heath good. I think no matter what, we'd still hate him.
I'm low-key hoping that they manage to somehow stay true to the source material and not changing a goddamn thing and it doesn't get cancelled. That's what
I hope so. You know, honestly, genuinely, I hope the series is good.
I do too.
Like,
I want the potential to be really good.
Because the thing is, like, you would have to change a lot to make it good. Like, I stand by the fact that you would have to probably combine Eric and Stark into one person to fix that mess.
But name him Stark, please. Thank you.
Well, like, Zoe is going to have to lose most of her love interests.
Well, that's why you would have to, I think that's why you just have to combine them into one person.
Yeah, just make her end up with Eric.
Kelowna can still be obsessed with her.
Yeah.
But she has to have zero interest in him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is this happening?
I don't know.
I'm going to see if there's any update. TV show.
No,
I doubt
it
it.
hasn't been picked up by a network yet. They're sending it around to networks. Where is the
Okay.
CW? Where is Netflix? Both of them, this would be their thing.
This
Yeah,
would
right.
this would be their thing.
Yeah, like the major fixes they would need to make is like either
Timeline.
cut the Lauren thing or
Yeah.
age him up quite a bit, like in appearance. And then also just combining Stark and Eric into one person.
Yeah, I don't.
So they're looking at Netflix, Hulu, and HBO. Netflix would be perfect for House
HBO.
of Night. No, it's not. It's
No.
not going to dirty its name. But
Netflix would be
just that,
perfect.
but, like HBO is like everyone else is scared to do this show because it's too risque. That's their thing.
Yeah,
Game
no,
of Thrones
Netflix
has
would be
never been
perfect.
done on
though.
any other thing.
Netflix is its home.
It has to be Netflix.
I hope.
It's also like Netflix series don't really get canceled.
No, you want to know what did get canceled
No,
though?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It did not get renewed.
But it's so good.
I know. Teenage Bounty Hunters. It was a really cute little show. But yeah, they did not renew it.
Yeah, there's actually been a bit of people getting pissed off with Netflix this year because, like, they've canceled some like absolute favorites, right, and replaced it with like, what is it, like Someone in Paris or something, and everyone's just like, this show is like the worst thing I've ever seen. They're like, how can you have canceled this and replaced it with this? But
they're still doing the Avatar one, which I'm excited about. But like, so did I tell you, TJ, that the original creators left the Netflix project?
I did. You did. I did.
So I found out why.
Okay.
Because they want to age up the characters and they want to make it more violent. And I was like, that's fair. Like,
I'm okay
you have
with
to do
that.
that to make a successful live action Avatar.
Well, yeah, because that gets you around the child acting problem.
Yeah. And it also gets you around the weird romance problem.
Yeah.
Just make them all like 17 and up.
Yeah. Or even if you made them adults, like.
Well, Aang can't be that old. That's the problem.
You would have to change his character arc quite a bit.
Yeah, which that's where it gets scary. Unless they just change that part of the lore where they're like, oh, you just don't find out through the Avatar until much later, which I'd be fine with that.
Or if they just change the reason why he like winds up frozen or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's all they would have to do is just change the reason why he winds up frozen. And then they would just have to change his arc because like he could still have most of his arc intact.
I don't want to be the Avatar arc.
Yeah.
He could still have
You would just have to age it up to be more of an adultier arc, which you could do with like a good writer.
Yeah, so I'm still looking forward to it, but
so like I hope they do have talented writers working on that because it would actually be nice to see an adultitized version of it, not just like a direct live action.
Yeah, cough cough M. Night Shyamalan and Ding Dong.
Yep. Yeah.
I hate that man. I have hatred for that man.
Honestly,
because of what he did to my show.
Like honestly as well, I really feel like he's like one of the most like he's done a couple of fantastic films.
Yeah.
Like I haven't seen Split or Glass yet, but Unbreakable.
I've seen one of them.
Unbreakable was fantastic.
I think I saw Split. Split was pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't heard bad things about Split.
Yeah.
But so we'll say that trilogy, I guess, and Sixth Sense. But like a lot of the other stuff, like The Village, that was just like one of the most retarded freaking things on the planet. Like they're literally just living in a freaking national forest in Pennsylvania.
So they're Amish.
You're watching the movie thinking you're watching Amish people, right? Literally, I don't actually know if they're in Pennsylvania or not. But like these are people that are actually like living in the modern world, but like they decided to remove themselves because of the violence.
So they're
and
Amish.
to stop people from leaving, they have people dress up as monsters and scare people back to the village if they go into the forest. So like the people living there, like the children and stuff, only the elders know the truth. Everyone else thinks that they are like, there's no one else on the planet as far as they know. Why? Nothing else is happening. But I'm like, how can you like the Amish are aware of the modern world? They can't hide it. Planes fly overhead. There's freaking helicopters. They're a thing. No, these people who would just bought a plot of land and have people they dress up as monsters to scare people back into the cabin.
But so nobody's ever gotten out because the monsters have never missed anybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Until I think like the blind chick gets out or something, and finds a park ranger. I can't even. It was stupid. But that was the twist. The twist was it's actually today. It's not 100 years ago.
Okay.
That was the big twist of the movie.
Cool. So
that's that.
So that was Divine by Mistake. Ending on M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. So we're gonna do probably next more. I don't know what we're doing next because my boyfriend really wants us to do The Witcher. So yeah, I don't know what we're doing next, but we'll fucking do something next. Yeah. So anyway, I feel dead, but thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next time.